Hi, Megan. Hi, everybody. We're just going to let folks join us. That'll take 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll just provide a few introductions and we'll get started. Thanks for being here today.
See lots of friends. That's great. It's such a wonderful way to come together. So proud of GSN Planet for launching this platform.
I know, I am too.
It's nice to be able to be high tech and high touch, right?
Right. Well
In these
said. Well
virtual age. All right, let's get started. I'm Joanna Roach. I'm the Executive Director of GSN Planet. I'm really, really excited to have webinar number 3 today with our incredible group of spa contributors. And I'm just gonna go around and have them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their business, and then we'll get started with some questions. So Julie, why don't we start with you?
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I'm Julie Andrews. I'm Chief Creative Officer with Kerstin Florian. We are a luxury skincare brand that supplies spas globally, high-end resort spas. So, you know, spas are really the majority of our business, and, you know, it's just hard to see everybody closing at this time, but we're here to support. So
Karen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Karen Short. I'm the CEO with Universal Companies. We are a wholesale distributor to the spa and wellness industries. We've been in business for about 38 years. Hopefully most of you have at least had some interaction with us on a positive note, for sure. We have been supplying spas, as I mentioned, for 38 years, and our customer base is very diverse. We have about 40,000 customers across a wide range of segments, from independent practitioner to day spa all the way up to the corporate resort spas, primarily in the US, but also worldwide. Our reach does extend worldwide. So we're feeling this across all segments, and it's pretty dramatic. So I appreciate you inviting us to be part of this discussion.
Thanks for being here, Karen. Tara G.
Hi everyone. It's so nice to see friends and contacts from the spa industry, our spa wellness community, signing on to share with us today. I'm Tara Grodjesk, founder and president of Tara Spa Therapy and VP for Earthlight Spa and Wellness Products. You know, Tara Spa Therapy has been in business for over 25 years, and I shared with our communications to our customers that we have weathered the storm numerous times with 9/11 and the economic downturn in 2008. And I described us as this little boat that was bobbing in the water and occasionally catching some of that water, but still staying afloat. And we are stronger today because of our merge with Earthlight, Living Earth Crafts. And we are, as Julie was saying, you know, we're here to support and to serve. I think this crisis shows us the interconnectedness of everything on the planet, and certainly within our community. We are so intertwined and interdependent. So this conversation is, you know, extremely important in us sharing information and insights and inspiration about what we can do and what we're doing together in our community.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. Tara N., why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tara, and Tara Nichols, and I am the COO of Yoga Balm, which is a massage healing product. It's also in high-end spas, and we've been around for about 14 years. And so I see this as an opportunity to open up, you know, different possibilities for reaching people, educating them, and if anything, coming out of this, people are going to want to take better care of themselves, better care of their health. So while we're in a little bit of a turmoil right now, I think we will come out of it strong, seeing that people will start to focus more attention on their health and wellness.
Great. So let's start by asking each of you in your businesses, which are alike but are also different, what do you think the most significant issue you're facing right now is? And we'll just reverse that order and start with you, Tara N.
I think it's, many of the spas are shut down. They are closed for, some aren't opening until June 1st. And so having this economic stress for 2 or 3 months, trying to decide what to do, with their employees, how to reach their clientele, how to keep revenue moving and going and keeping the spirits, elevated at, in the spa environment as well, while taking precautions to take care of the health and safety of their clientele. I think it's, learning how to bridge that gap, but, having it being the available resource. I know a lot of places are doing online, classes or trainings, whether it's yoga, but even just giving information about how to do, self-massage, how you can be taking care of yourself during this time. Would be a good way to just keep reaching out to your clientele.
Great. Tara. G.
Okay. Tara and Tara.
Tara and Tara.
So, it's really interesting because I've been hearing more and more from the people in our community that wellness is more important than ever before. And here we thought we'd been on this track for quite a number of years in the spa industry in promoting wellness lifestyle. And we have been, but it has become, urgently apparent how important our immune system is, our overall wellness, our resilience, with this virus situation. And so I think spas have an incredible opportunity to, really take a look at what they are offering their clientele in terms of real substantial wellness, lifestyle practices and programs. And I think that for the brands, the suppliers, we have a great opportunity, and we're seeing a lot of that where brands are pulling out product features or hero products that really promote wellness and overall well-being, and in a number of ways. For our company, wellness has always been in the DNA of our company and of our brand, and so we feel like this is something that we've been speaking about for a long time. But even so, it's like products that went unnoticed for years and years. Our immune booster bath salts, for example, like all of a sudden everyone is interested in that, and I just think it's really great. It's like a return to what's really important. And so what we're trying to do is focus on those products and those programs, and supporting the spas as they prepare to open, to really advocate for wellness practices. Self-care has been a big buzzword, in our industry, and as it should be. We should be the forebearers of what self-care is really about, and helping make those connections easier for spa clientele to engage in their personal practice of self-care.
Thanks. Karen.
Well, really to build on both those ladies in terms of what they offer, because we're doing much of the same. We are very focused on supporting our customers, and we're getting a lot of feedback from customers in the field from that very diverse base. I would say the primary request that's coming through is how can they, really twofold, how can they stay connected with their customers during this time? And it can be challenging for some of the smaller spas who don't have a marketing department, if you will, or a PR team to support them. As well as how can I generate revenue during this time? How do I stay afloat? How do I just make it through the next 60, 90 days? And so we've been very focused on trying to answer those questions through support and some tools, which I'll be happy to share a little bit later on in the conversation.
Great. Julie.
Yeah, I think, for us being in California, we're a little bit, on the first to go on shelter in place. So, we're closing as of April 1st. We're kind of hitting the pause button right now, and wanting all of our employees to stay home and stay safe, and, make products available. We've really kind of transferred to Amazon as an outlet for customers to find Kerstin Florian products. And I guess really what we're looking at now is just how do we start to strategically think about coming back when the spas do start opening, and how we're supporting them, because I think we kind of all realize it's going to be a slow go even when they can begin to open. So I think that's really where our support will really start. And the health and wellness piece has always been the DNA of our brand as well. So, you know, self-care and how we can help promote those once we come back, and how we can support our spa partners to bring those customers back, or reach out to those customers in a different way that aren't going to come in the spa. But I think what we're finding is a lot of our big partners, we offer to help drop ship for them or market to their clients, but they're closed and they don't have anyone right now to do that. So I think where we can support is just to be ready when they're coming back, to just be that extension and that arm, and, you know, support with our team in you know, education and getting them back in marketing programs and things like that. So I think that's really where our biggest support is going to come from, is when they can start opening again, because we're really finding all our key partners globally have closed right now.
Yeah, well, I think we're hearing much of the same. So Julie, let's just stay with you and tell us, how are you communicating with your staff and also with your customers? What are some things you're doing in terms of the communication, and what does that communication feel and sound like?
Well, we sent out a notice to all of our partners over the weekend that we were closing, and, you know, gave them an email address to send, you know, any communication or needs to. What we're finding is most of them aren't really communicating except for on Zoom calls and these community calls that we're all having. Our team's been working remotely for several weeks pretty much. There's a few people coming into the office as needed, some of our customer service, and, you know, limitedly in our warehouse. But, you know, we're all having a lot of Zoom calls and, you know, keeping in contact that way, and just communication. We opened a Facebook group for our internal staff so that we can all communicate during this time of closure. And I think all of us are getting on these Zoom calls with different groups, and it's helping us stay connected and know what's going on out there and to support each other. And I think sometimes when I'm on these calls, it's supportive to know that everybody's going through the same thing. There's none of us that are not feeling this in some way, and we're all navigating it maybe a bit differently. But I think our ultimate goal is to take care of our employees and to support our partners, and to kind of be able to come back in a really strong way, but also know that the landscape's going to look different, and we need to evolve, and we need to address that in a different way. I don't think business is going to just go back as usual. I think we're coming into a new time, and so I think this time is giving us all time to kind of reflect on that and just sort of come into this in a new way and sort of reinvent ourselves a bit.
Yes, I agree. Karen, do you want to comment on that?
Well, I do. We have reached out to certainly our customers and our vendor partners. Both of those audiences are equally important to us, and both are experiencing fall off in their business and closings, of course. Some of our suppliers are having to actually lay off their entire teams. Some of you may be aware we laid off a fair number of folks last week, or this week, I should say. And so it is very challenging. You know, how do you stay in touch? We've implemented a couple tools that we found very helpful. One is a tool called Teams, which is in Microsoft Office. It's a free tool, depending on what level you've purchased into, handling video, chat, screen. Literally, we talk to each other. We use Teams versus picking up the phone or texting now on the fly. It's great and can handle up to about 50 folks on a video conference. So it's a really nice tool, which we were unaware of. And that's, I think, something that we'll carry forward. because all of us are working remotely, and I think we'll see more of that going forward. We are about ready to begin. Some of our smaller teams have already started, but we're about ready to begin our daily water cooler using that tool. So everyone that is remaining at Universal, we have a core team that will be working around the clock. We'll be doing our daily chat via Teams to make sure people are connected. They know what's going on in the company, and we can share what you normally would share around the water cooler and keep everybody connected. And then for those folks that we have laid off, we will be sending out weekly email updates on what's going on with the company. We feel it's very important that we keep them connected because we are extremely optimistic that we're going to come through this, and we're going to need them more than ever to get back on track really quickly. So those are just a couple of things that we're doing to try to, I think, kind of create that daily face-to-face contact that you don't have when you're working remotely. So
Thanks. Tara G. I know it sounds funny, but
in Ayurvedic school I was called Tarji.
Maybe it's your new rap name.
Back to Tarji. So, you know, this communication, we all know how important it is, and I think that we're using all the tools possible. You see a lot of activity on social media, and you know, using webinar for education and communication and staying connected and engaged. I mean, really, communication is about connecting, and I think that for us, like as Karen said, you know, we're working it from every angle, all of our contacts and our relationships. We're trying to reach out to all of those relationships, whether it's our employees, our staff, our suppliers, our spa customers, their customers, things like that. So how can we, you know, how can we keep these connecting points virtually? Everyone is looking to do that. And so I think the regular communication is important, but I have to say I did some gathering of information before the webinar and reached out to some people in our industry, like Alan Scher from Spa Industry Association, Michael Brueggemann from Organic Mail, and Lisa Starr and Sita Couture, and you know, quite a few like that. And basically everyone is saying the same thing, you know, stay in front of your people and your different groups, right? As Karen pointed out, stay in front of your people. More communication is better than less communication. Transparency is super important, and you know, just be really proactive with that. You could imagine how Alan Scher toned that. He was like, you know, right, don't stop communicating, and that's for all of us, you know, to all of our people. So it was good to hear, and I think everyone's on the same page with that. I have an interesting situation. I'm out in the field the majority of the time. I work remotely. Part of the time I commute down to San Diego to Earthlight parent company headquarters. So I am used to being out in the field. So for me to be home, though, is a different situation, and feeling like I'm not able to be in person with our customers and touch and hug and all of that. I know a lot of us are feeling that, and certainly with your employee groups too. But you know, our warehouse, our facility in Illinois, and then headquarters in San Diego, we've been using Skype and Zoom for a long time. So I think it's easy for us to transition to this kind of platform, although in Earthlight, they're used to all being together, and so they're adjusting to the remote communications. So yeah, it's different for everyone for sure. But thank goodness I heard like Zoom is like the most popular thing right now, and we've been using it for a long time with GSN, but thank goodness we have these platforms and we are able to connect virtually. And you know, I have to say this because it's really important, because Jim Chenevey and I had this conversation many months ago. You know, there's something really different about the phone call. You can say the same words, you can have the same conversation, you can call back, you can talk again, and you can think like, oh, this is what we do. Why do you need that video contact? And you can see here, there is something about the visual that adds to it. And the emails, you know, how sometimes that doesn't do it justice at all, for sure, right? Phone calls, same way. We think, oh yeah, it's a phone call. Why do I need to do the video? It's a little bit more of a hassle. But I have to tell you, in our business, it is so important, because when you can have that eye contact, you know, every once in a while, like having that is not just every once in a while, but I'm just saying, you know, when you finally do it, you realize, wow, that was a good thing. So I encourage all of you to explore that as much as you can.
Yeah, I really agree with that, Tara. I think that we are able to have an energetic exchange, even if we're all in a different place in the world, and it does really feel like we're all together. And I do think that that's really powerful. So thanks. Tara N., what would you like to share?
I think it is a great opportunity for us to just be more creative in general and think outside of the box, which is much needed right now. I think everyone's thinking at every possible angle that you can. For us, we've been focusing more on, we're revamping our website, we're coming out with a new CBD product. So being able to give more attention to those sort of things and less on marketing, but even just having more of a presence on social media and sending out videos of self-care tips and that sort of thing. And I have noticed a spike in retail sales for our personal site every time we send out one of these posts or one of these videos. It's like, a pleasant reminder, hi, we're here for you. These are ways that you can take care of yourself during this time. And again, people are becoming more and more conscious. It's not just about physical wellness, it's about emotional, mental, and spiritual wellness too. And so also involving that aspect of it into what we're sharing with our clientele.
Yeah. I'd just like to add to that, if I may, and I think you're absolutely right. It's so critical. And I think it's particularly critical for our teams because they're going through a lot of stress right now. We want to keep good people engaged. We don't want to lose them because we're going to need them more than ever when we come out on the other side. And I think innovation and problem solving, really having them look at the operation and now they have an opportunity to do things a little bit differently and have the time to think through some of that they haven't. So I think that's right. Really very important, the innovation, the creative thinking part. We need to really capitalize on that now.
It's an opportune time to see where the cracks in the foundation are. What needs to what needs to evolve, what needs to be renewed, or wherever you need to build something new because the old frame is no longer working.
Right. Right. It may not carry us through. You're right.
I would say that is what I'm hearing from other brands, suppliers, that they're using this time to go internal. We're all doing that personally, but professionally, looking at systems, looking at the infrastructure and how we can make changes, and just take a look at those internal systems that we often don't have the time because we're so busy putting it out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good segue. So I'm going to frame up the next couple of questions. So I want to talk about impact and I want to talk about trends, right? So last week, one of the things we talked about on the webinar was the ways in which services might be delivered when we come back from this because of the emphasis on germ transmission and how we will touch people and what might need to be done differently in the treatment room. And so I think to everyone's point, we're talking about ways in which this industry is going to reinvent itself. And then also there are a few trends that are coming out of this, one of them being this emphasis on cleanliness. So I'd love to get each of your perspectives on those things, like impact on the overall industry and trends that you might be seeing. So let's start with you, Karen.
Okay, well, I would say impact. I want to go back to what really, Tara, Miss N said when she first started, and that was really the whole, that wellness is going to be top of mind. I do believe this is going to magnify the significance of wellness. And while we may have to adopt some new practices in the treatment rooms, I think coming out of this, people are going to be starved for touch. We've all been isolated. I mean, I think about it'd be great to go to the office tomorrow morning and give everybody a big hug. But you know what? That's probably 30, 45 days from now. That's a long time. We don't realize because we've never been in this situation. So I think actually the human need for touch is going to be magnified as well. And so I think that bodes well for our business. I think in terms of trends, we do a lot of market research at Universal. And one of the things we're seeing, we do a lot of market research online in particular, is we're seeing things really more search terms growing rather for things at home. So the trend there's been what's been out there called the near me trend. facials near me, massage near me. People are looking for local businesses, local spas to be able to go and get the treatments. Now it's facials at home, massage at home is what's happening. Not a huge surprise, but really the question is what does that mean for spas? And I think from our perspective, what we've been really working on is these toolkits that somebody mentioned earlier, Tara, I think earlier, that really provides, they're unique in that they provide not only assets for our marketing assets for our spas, but the training on how to use them. So for instance, we have a facial at home spa, how to really, what does a professional really do with that? Well, it's an opportunity to stay connected with their customers, and we provide them with emails, social posts, blog posts, SEO, etc., how they can really utilize that trend to stay connected with their customer, help their customer remotely, so that when the time comes back around, they'll have that affinity will still be there. And so we're seeing a lot of those kinds of things happening in terms of, searching for activities that can be done at home. I think the other thing that we're seeing, and this is really mainly through our salespeople, is there's this shift, and I think it will continue after, to social and virtual selling. So our sales folks, while there aren't a lot of our customers that are actively purchasing right now, they're just like all of us sitting remotely, and they're wanting to learn about new products and trends and how do I stay connected with my customer and so forth. And we're doing that virtually. We're adopting platforms, and I don't know that that's necessarily going to go away. I believe that will continue to build after this is over. It's really, we've been talking about going digital for so long, and I think this is just bringing it to the forefront. So, but it's an opportunity to stay even more connected with folks.
Great. Julie, do you want to tackle that impact and trends?
Yeah, and I agree a lot with what Karen was saying just about support and marketing programs, and those are things that we've done in the past, and we've had those tools, but I think the spas are going to really start to utilize them, and we'll be able to really be able to hit the ground running and being able to support them to reach out to their clientele virtually and digitally and on social. And our marketing and education team has been working super, super hard, especially this last, 3 to 4 weeks, to put all of that together for our partners and, to keep us connected to on social, because we are closing. We can't work for this period of time, and, it's been a lot, but I think we will be prepared to support in that way. And I think the impact has just really been huge on all of us, on our businesses, on our partners, and I do think we will really start to see that sharing of information digitally, especially initially, because it will be slow for people to want to come back to touch. But I think that's where we can come in and help educate and sort of work on solutions that with the spas on how they can do treatments or create self-guided treatments where people feel comfortable before they can go into a treatment room to get a kit and be able to move about the spa and enjoy the spa and be around people, but not, if touching isn't in their comfort zone quite yet. So I think there's a lot of things we as brands can do to help support our partners. And then, just staying connected.
Great, thanks. Tara N., we'll flip to you.
I do think people are going to be really thirsty for touch. They're going to be really thirsty for those connections with other people. And when they're thinking of, the spa environment, like that's a place where it's all about you. It is about self-care. It's where you can go. I kind of think of it a little bit about being in the womb, where you're just being nurtured. And I think people are going to be really desiring that and really craving that. One of the trends I've noticed is, even kind of before a lot of the shutdowns were happening a couple weeks ago, a lot of the businesses, at least, in my area, were connecting and communicating with their clients and letting them know all the safety precautions they're taking for cleanliness. They're going through and they're wiping everything down with bleach. And I think that's important to focus on how much you're sanitizing, because I know, the consciousness out there right now is like, I don't want to go where there's a lot of people, where they've been touching a lot of things. I think that can be where people might be more reserved with coming in. But if you just let them know that you are, sanitizing everything really well, and how, again, just emphasizing the importance of touch and taking care of yourself, because this is somewhat of a traumatic situation that we're all experiencing. So how can we take care of ourselves? It's like we're all kind of holding our breath. And so part of that deep exhale is to go and have that touch and have that nurturing, and, someone kind of letting you know energetically that everything's going to be okay.
Laura.
Mute here. Yeah, everyone commented on some very, very good points. I think it is so important to remember that everyone is going to feel, or many are going to feel starved for touch, but many are going to feel afraid, and it will take them a long time to feel comfortable for that. And so that, to me, is the biggest impact. Our industry is a high touch, industry. We all know that. And so I think that it will take time. There will be a percentage of people, I've heard it already, they can't wait to get their massage. And then there are others that, like, there's no way I'm going to be doing that. So, so that's where we have to reconcile, and I think transparency is really key. And Alan Scher was telling me this morning, he said facials are going to be with gloves and masks and all of that. But as Tara said, though, demonstrating your cleanliness practices, and Universal companies being so helpful to provide those guidelines, for spas, salons, day spas, whatever. But here's what our practices are, showing it and being really transparent with that, I think, is really key, so that customers can regain confidence that they're in a safe environment. So that is really key. I think that in terms of trends, though, I was really impressed with Spa Fashionizer putting out their masks. They're very colorful, fashionable masks, because I think that is the direction we're going to be needing to go in. But trends in terms of experiences, I think that creating hands-off experiences is also going to rise. Hands-off experiences are things that are very personalized, that help people get to the unwind, kind of chill out, calming the nervous system. Some of the benefits that they would get from massage or high touch experiences may come from learning or being reminded of the self tools that maybe they know they should do, but they're not so good doing it by themselves. Maybe we're doing a lot of that online. There's all kinds of online opportunities to see, different health practices and yoga classes and all of that. But I think when people do start coming back to spas, creating some experiences that are hands-off, mindfulness, breath exercise, some gentle stretching, that's all personalized to the individual, that helps them get to that place of calm and peace. It doesn't ever replace the massage therapy, of course. Maybe learning self-massage techniques. This would be a great one from Ayurveda, Abhyanga, self-massage. So those are the things that I think we'll start seeing pop up.
And can I just add to that? So before we even went into this, we found spas were contacting us for what we call self-service opportunities. And a lot of it had to do with equipment, or creating salt rooms or water treatment rooms that could be self-service. And I think that will be magnified as well for different reasons now. With staffing reasons before, it'll be because people perhaps want to have an experience where they're not being touched as much. But I would also add that our industry has the advantage of really having a reputation for being very clean already going into this.
Yes.
And so, layer in the transparency that you just mentioned, Tara, and I think we're really going to be in a much better place than some others in terms of being able to kind of overcome or close the gap, if you will, the fear gap versus the I can't wait to jump in gap.
And I agree. Oh, go ahead, Tara.
I was just going to add in something that came up for me, is even just sound healing. Sound healing is something that's very healing, that people can just be laying on the massage table because they don't have that space of just kind of quiet. where, in their house or in their, workspace. So just coming to a place of refuge where they can just truly unwind, and even creating more social centers where they can come and have tea together and maybe meet someone new and have connection that way, through talking with someone else who's there, also receiving a spa treatment. But that's just another idea where people can connect with one another and also receive a healing that is non-touch, but yet has profound effects.
Right. Yeah, I agree, Tara G, with the mask piece. I think that the masks will end up being part of the uniform for both massage therapists and estheticians, and potentially even patrons who are getting services, because I think for a while we're going to be in uncharted territories and people are going to want to feel protected. All right, so we do have a question all about Amazon. So I'd love to know, we'll go around and maybe what your relationship is to Amazon. Do you think it's helpful? How are you using it? How does it relate to spas that you may be working with? Because, obviously Amazon has an affiliate program. Some people are part of that, some people are not. So let's just talk about each of your experiences with Amazon. And Julie Andrews, why don't we start with you?
So with Amazon, we've had kind of a limited sort of representation with Amazon up until about a week ago, with just some top selling SKUs. But because of the restrictions here in California with shipping and being a non-essential business, we have put all of our products up on Amazon and ship to them, because we're, for the foreseeable, at least 30 to possibly 60 days, we're not able to really ship out of our warehouse. So we are putting all of our products up there just so, we can be found. And I think for now that's the best way. We're not part of an affiliate program. I suppose if this goes longer than we anticipate, we may be able to look into this. It went very quickly for us, but at least for us, it was a way for us to be able to ship out product for people looking for it, either people that, we're even limiting our own website because we won't have people in the warehouse here to be shipping out orders. So, it really did happen quite quickly, but for now, I think that was the best answer for us, just to be able to have our full SKU base available to anybody who's looking. But it's definitely going to affect our business, quite significantly, but thank goodness they're there and shipping and, all of that for us right now.
Tara Nichols, do you want to take the question next?
We do not use Amazon in any way, shape, or form. Luckily, we're still able to ship out just because we have a very small team, because we are a small business, and so it's not really affecting us so much that way. There's a little bit of hesitation around Amazon these days with a few things that have come up with the media. So I know that can be a little tricky topic for some people, feeling like they're not wanting to support Amazon in that way. I do use it personally though, so I do appreciate all the, that it is so readily available and, quick turnaround and that sort of thing.
Karen?
So we do work with Amazon, but we work with Amazon for a different reason than you might expect. We developed a level of partnership for some of our key brands over the last couple of years based on issues that they were having, needs that they had, and that they were essentially fighting diversion online, and it became a real issue. So we dug in and developed resources to help them really manage their brand across all channels, Amazon being one. So many of our brands, not all, but many of our brands you'll see on Amazon, we are actually managing that for them, ensure that the brand is protected, essentially. It's a brand protection program. Ensure that the content is correct, that the brand is positioned correctly, that the pricing is correct, because in most cases they were already there, but they were struggling with that. So that's how we're really working with Amazon at this point. Now we have had, as I might have mentioned, a number of our customers have reached out and said, we'd like to start selling online. How can we do that? And we are in the process of creating what we call a retail certification program, which will help spas sell online and avoid all the same issues that they might encounter if they were trying to sell on Amazon, such as diversion, dealing with MAP price versus MSRP, and marketing assets, as I mentioned earlier, emails and social posts and SEO and all that. So we're trying to find a way to help our customers sell online directly and not necessarily, but positioning their spa and the brands that they're representing in the right way.
Thank you. Tara G.
For Tara Spa Therapy, we're not working with Amazon in a very close way. Earthlight, as a parent company, does have a very strong business with Amazon. But for us, we're focusing on drop ship programs and making our entire inventory available to our spas and their customers. Now, granted, a lot of the spas, because they're shut down, they don't have the staff and the marketing people to be marketing that. So it is very limited. However, we do have spas that have member bases. Some of them have golf courses open and tennis courts still open. And so they're trying to keep their member base engaged in the spa in some capacity. So they're very interested in our wellness kits. So we're doing a special packaging of wellness kits, but also making the entire product line available to their spa customers at a preferred rate because of them being a spa member with a spa promo code, and then also cash back to the spa to help give them some cash for their business.
Yeah, that's sort of one of the things that people had raised as a question about, are there ways to bring back revenue to the spas from some of these affiliate programs? And also, you know, what things are you doing to generate revenue?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. I would say in interviewing several other vendors and suppliers, many of them are on track with this drop ship program. It's not necessarily as generating a huge amount of business, but it is a way to stay connected, to have reasons to communicate, making wellness available, wellness at home. We had a program many years ago that was called Wellness Delivered to Your Door, and we're basically resurrecting that, wellness delivered to your door. So, but so many of the brands are enacting, you know, and getting these programs in place. And, you know, is it a lot of revenue? Well, we're saying it might take us from a negative to a neutral, a net neutral in our operations. And that, hey, that's better than
nothing.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else want to talk about some revenue generating ideas that you've come across, Karen?
Anyone, Karen? Anyone? Well, you know, I just go back to really retailing online has been just, I would say in the last week and a half, has really become quite in demand with our customers. And I'm going to do a plug. It's not a shameless plug, but it's really intended for those of you that are with spas out there, if you want to access some of these free resources. Now, the retail is not available yet, but there's a complete COVID communication program or toolkit, if you would. And then, as I alluded to earlier, the facial at home, a way to stay engaged with your customers. We've launched a brand new education website as a result of, not as a result, we've been working on it for a while, but this accelerated the need to launch it now as opposed to 2 months from now. But those resources are free and they're available at my.uco, U-C-O, learning, learning.com. And so I just want to be sure I got that message out, that those are resources available to everybody today. And there'll be new resources coming online weekly. And please do go out there and take advantage of it. And let us know what you think about them, because we're designing them with our intention is to be helpful to spas and help you stay engaged. If they're not working, we need to know that so we can adjust course.
Tara, Nichols, do you want to talk about some ways in which you're generating some revenue or suggestions you might have?
I mean, I think it's just what everyone's been talking about, reaching out, social media, writing personalized. The more personal you can make something using someone's name, you know, and also sharing compassion right now, with just like, we know this is a scary time for everyone. And again, these are tips that you can do for wellness, even just wellness in general. It doesn't have to pertain even to what your product can, give them, but also give other, vitamin, C and D and zinc are also a really good source of, getting your essential vitamins right now. But just flooding with information, it's almost like sometimes when you get in that fear-based mode, people forget all of their tools. And so I think if we can be a reminder of those tools, of meditate 20 minutes a day, this is the most important time for you to be doing that. Stretch, move your body, get outside, take a bath. What are the things that we can do? Do your breath work. And even if it's just for 10 minutes, it's going to make a world of difference with you kind of releasing that pent up energy that we have inside. And again, just reminding people of the tools that we've acquired throughout life, but sometimes we forget in these times of kind of major stress.
Tara, anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's all on track. I really do think, we are limited right now. We're not going to be seeing sales go gangbusters. That would be great, unless we have hand sanitizer.
Right. No, actually, that's a really good point. We are reading about lots of different companies starting to create hand sanitizer. Are you guys all hearing the same thing?
Yes, in fact, we looked at it as a company too, and because a lot of the distributors are completely out.
They're out.
Yeah. So there are things like that where, on the supplier and manufacturing side, products are being, I think, a collection of products for keeping your space clean and sanitized, even more so than it was before.
So that's, yeah. Karen?
No, I was just going to say we are a distributor for a product out of Canada, which is a fabulous product. It's good for the environment. It's essentially accelerated hydrogen peroxide, so it doesn't have a lot of the chemicals that you would imagine, and it has been approved by the FDA to kill the coronavirus. So we will be bringing in quite a bit of that product, so look to us for that if we can help.
Okay, great. Well, I would like to say thank you to all of you for being here today and sharing your wisdom and expertise. And we're going to do this again next Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and our focus will really be on a global perspective. We've invited some folks from all over the globe to come and talk about what's going on in their countries. But I'd love to close today by everyone saying where you are in the country, because I think we have a really good representation of several states here. So Karen, we'll start with you, and you can sort of say where you're looking at the world from.
So I'm Universal Companies is located in Southwest Virginia, but I live in Tennessee, so I'm looking out my window to beautiful Northeast Tennessee.
Julie?
I am in Lake Forest, California, which is in Southern California where our corporate office is. So today is my last day in the office, which feels so strange for a little bit, but and we have cloudy skies today. Tara has sunny skies in Northern.
I know.
So yeah, the sun will be here later this week, though.
Of course.
Tara?
Yeah, you have it most of the time, Julie. I'm in Carmel Valley right now. Our parent company, Earthlight Living Earth Crafts, is in Vista, San Diego area. I'm here in Carmel Valley. Our Tara Spa Therapy warehouse is in Central Illinois. So that is why Zoom and Skype are so important to us. And I am so grateful that it is blue skies, because it was starting to feel a little bit depressing here. So I'm feeling a little bit more energy and more hopeful.
Tara Nichols, where are you?
I'm located in Portland, Oregon, and the past week it's been very rainy, but fortunately we do have blue skies today, so I'm hoping to take advantage of that and get outside a little.
Good.
And Joanna, where are you at?
Well, I'm on Nantucket in Massachusetts, where it's there's a reason she's called the Gray Lady, because it's gray for a good half of the year, gray and sometimes foggy. And Megan, where are you?
I'm on the Jersey Shore near Asbury, home of Bruce Springsteen. So it's been gloomy here too, so no beach walks, but hopefully soon.
All right. So again, ladies, my sincere thank you for being here today and for contributing to our webinar and sharing your wisdom with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, I think okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. See ya. Bye, everybody.
In my- Bye, everybody. Oh, exit full screen. Leave.